So today we're going to be making a Gantt chart. Before we start, we need to do a few things, and we'll start with naming what the Gantt chart is. So for this demonstration, it's just going to be the Gantt chart demonstration. After we label the Gantt chart, we need to utilize a few headings. So to start off with, we are going to write tasks. The next heading will be the start date of each task. Next heading will be the duration of each task, that is measured in days, and the final one will be the end date. Alright, once we've done that, we want to highlight each of the headings, so we'll highlight the whole thing, and we'll press Control B, that will bold it like that. So the next thing we need to do is write what tasks we're using. Normally, if you're doing a Gantt chart, you'll have tasks such as research, development, manufacture, analysis. You'll have different tasks like that. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to have task 1 through to task 10. Through to task 10. Okay, to make things look nice and neat, we're going to put a border around everything. So to go with that, we open up the formatting palette, and under borders, we're going to have the all borders. And to make it look a little bit fancier, we're going to use a thick box border. The final thing we need to do before we start is to make sure that it's all justified to the left. And to do that, it's alignment and spacing, and left horizontal alignment. Before we can put in any data, we need to format each of the cells. These cells here, as well as these ones, are all dates. So to get these in the right date format that we want, we can go to Format, Cells. Once we've got that open, we want our cells to be a date. There's a few different date formats here. I don't really like any of these, so I'll go to Custom. And what we have here is the date and the day / month, which is what I like. So I'll click OK. The duration, as we can see, is a general format, which will be fine for what we need. We are now ready to start putting in data. So normally with each of these tasks, we can kind of guess and predict when each task will start and how long it should go for. It takes a bit of time to organize this, so to make things easy, I've already done it. So these are the start dates from the 22nd of the 7th, and that goes for 3 days, and all the way through to the very end of it. The next thing we need to do is work out the end date. You can tell by adding 3 days to the 22nd, we'll make it the 25th, but to make things easier, we can get Excel to work this out for us. So to start off, we double click the cell, press the enter key, and then we can just click this cell plus this cell and equals. So as we predicted, it is the 25th of the 7th. So with that formula, we can drag that same formula down to all of these cells like that, and now each of these cells will have the same formula for these. So right now we're looking at a finished Gantt chart table. And from this we can make the Gantt chart. Okay, from here to make the actual Gantt chart, we need to make sure that none of this is highlighted. So we'll just click an arbitrary cell. We click Charts. We want a bar chart. From this we will choose the stacked bar. Once you've clicked that, you can see that we have a form of chart, but it's not exactly what we need. We need to do a fair bit of work to make sure that this is a proper Gantt chart. So this chart isn't exactly what we need. We need to change a few things. So to do that, we right click it and click Select Data. It'll come up with this window, and under the Series button you'll see 3 different sets of series. We need to remove each of those because they are irrelevant, and then we need to start new ones. So we can add. The name of that will be start date, and the Y values here, we'll click that. Once the cursor is in here, we can just highlight all of these then that's fine. We can add one more, and the name of that will be the duration. And once again, the y values of the duration are these here. Highlight them all. That's fine. So we can click OK, and we can see that the chart is looking a bit more like a Gantt chart. There is one problem with it though. As you can tell here, it isn't a very logical order for these dates. It should be the other way around. So to fix that, we can left click this, then right click and format axis. Once we go to that, we can go to scale and then the categories in reverse order. You can click that. So at the moment we have this blue and this red. The blue is irrelevant for us at the moment, so we can get rid of that. So to fix these blue lines and get rid of them, we double click them. And then we can come up here to the color. At the moment it's on automatic, but if we click no fill, and then OK, it gets rid of them. This is more of what a Gantt chart should look like. There still are a few problems which we need to get rid of, and we'll do that in due time. So at the moment we can see that this graph has a fair bit of white space here and here, which we don't really need. So we can get rid of that. The first step is deciding which is the first date we'd like the scale to start and which is the finish date. So if we have a look at the start date, the earliest start date that we have is the 22nd of the 7th. Normally when we make a Gantt chart, you generally have a little bit of leftovers time. So we'll say that the start date will be the 21st of the 7th, 2010. And then the end date is the 21st, but we'll give ourselves a 1 day gap as well. And so we'll make that the 22nd of the 8th, 2010. So these are the two dates that we want to be on our axis, and this will help to determine the scale. To do that, we need to find the numerical value of these dates. It's a long process, or a long reason for why they do that. It's irrelevant at the moment. So to do that, what we need to do is change the format of these to a normal number. To do that, we highlight them and go to the format, and we want to make it a general number. So these numbers here represent the dates that we had, and it's important to keep these numbers. From that, we can right click these dates at the top. We can format the axis. From there, we can go to scale, and we can insert these numbers up the top here. So the minimum value that we want on the horizontal scale is 38918, and the maximum that we want on the bottom is 38950. So if we have a look down here, it makes a much better graph. The major unit we want, but we want that to be 7 to signify each week. So each of these lines down here represents a week. And the minor unit, we can change that to 1 to represent a day. From that, we can pretty much click OK. So what we have here is pretty much a finished Gantt chart. There are a few more things we need to do to fix it up, and to start off with, we can eliminate this legend here. We can just highlight them and press delete. And that is pretty much all that a Gantt chart is. So at the moment, if we have a look at this, we can see that most tasks are dependent on finishing another task. For example, before we start task 4, we need to be finished with task 3. If for some reason things change, we can actually change what this chart looks like by changing the data in here. So if, for example, we would like task 3 to take a bit longer, we can change the duration of task 3 from 4 days to 6 days. And as a result, it goes a lot longer. But then again, if task 4 needs to start when task 3 finishes, we can change that as well by changing this from the 29th to the 31st. Like that. So it is possible to change all of these dates around. We can do a few other things to change the looks of this Gantt chart. For example, we can change the colors. If we left click the actual chart, then right click that and click on Format Data Series. From that we can change the color to anything we like. For example, blue. And then click OK. We can change the plot area. So if we right click that, Format Plot Area, we can change that from white to light green if we wanted to. And we can do the same with the outside area of the graph as well, and the text. So it is possible to change a lot of features. It's just a matter of what you think looks good. So when you are presenting a Gantt chart, it's important to make sure that the aesthetics of the chart suits the document that it's going into. So like anything that you make in Excel, you can cut and paste or copy and paste anything into a Word document. So for example, all you need to do is highlight something, press Ctrl+C or right click copy, and then we can paste that into any other Microsoft document. The same thing goes with this table here. We can highlight the whole thing, copy it, and we can paste it anywhere. So that is how you make a Gantt chart and table.